16 early Scott Rolen baseball cards worthy of Cooperstown. Scott Rolen baseball cards may not move the hobby needle like, say, a hot new prospect, but those old Roland cards might need a dusting off in the next few years. After all, Roland spent much of his 17-year big league career on the shelf, sidelined by a string of injuries that limited him to 150 games every year after 2003. In fact, he never even broke the 130-game barrier after 2006. Still, when he was on the field, Roland was one of the top 10 or so third basemen of all time, if you believe advanced metrics like WAR. And even if you're more of a traditionalist when it comes to your baseball numbers, Roland stands out. 281, 316 home runs, 1,287 RBI, 2,077 hits. Still, Roland has found the going a bit rough in his first 3 years on the Hall of Fame ballot, picking up 10.2%, 17.2%, and 35.3% of the votes from 2018 to 2020. But that jump in the last year, coupled with a weak first-year class of 2021, could make for an interesting election this time around. To gear up for the superstar's next run at Cooperstown, here is a rundown of every Scott Rolen baseball card, beginning with his 1994 minor league issues and rolling through his 1995 rookie cards. 1984 Classic, Spartanburg Phillies, Scott Rolen, number 1. Classic made a name for itself in the hobby back in 1987 with their classic baseball board game and cards. It's an awesome collectible that has held up well over time. Then in the early 1990s, Classic splashed into other sports and became the card maker for choice if you wanted to chase draft pick cards, rolling out pretty big sets as Classic/Best. By 1994, they had dropped the Best and were just Classic again, issuing a set of 200 prospects in 2 series. Roland made the cut, along with other future legend upstarts like Alex Rodriguez, Andy Pettitte, and Michael Jordan. The Roland card can be yours usually for a few bucks in raw condition. 1994 Classic/Best, Gold Martinsville, Phillies, Scott Rolen, number 120. Okay, so maybe Classic didn't completely jettison the Best affiliation, issuing their 1994 Gold set under that title. You get a different look at Roland here, suited up as he is with the Martinsville Phillies, rookie, rather than the Spartanburg Phillies, single A. You also get a little gold foil on the card, but at the same inexpensive price. 1994 Fleer Excel, Scott Rolen, number 246. By 1994, Fleer had 13 years of Major League issues under their belt, and they were deep into the fray of ever-escalating card quality and retail prices. Who could blame them for trying to diversify a bit, safeguarding their brand by covering all the bases they could, so to speak? Not I, that's for sure. So it's little surprise to see Scott Rolen minor league card for the Philadelphia gum maker, who wasn't allowed to include gum with their baseball cards because of the Topps continued monopoly on that front. This design would look right at home in the late 1950s if you ask me, which kind of fits, since Roland was the sort of hard-nosed fundamentals guy who would have excelled in the middle of the 20th century, or any time likely. This card can bring a bit more than the previous card, but it won't break the bank under most circumstances. 1994 Fleer Pro Cards, Spartanburg Phillies, Scott Rolen, number 1731. And here we have yet another Fleer product, and this time it's a team effort with longtime minor league card Marvin Pro Cards. This was a massive, massive effort, as evidenced by Roland's card number here, 1731. And that wasn't even halfway home for this gargantuan set that stretched to more than 4,000 cards. This is another card that's not super expensive, but one that sees some decent action when slabbed in top grades. 1995 Reading Phillies, Scott Roland. In 1995, Roland moved up to Double-A, where he helped the Reading Phillies win the East League Championship. The team issued a set of cards to commemorate the event, and Roland, naturally, was front and center. This card doesn't seem to be quite as plentiful as some cards on the list, and it can sell for double digits in nice graded condition. 1995 SP Top Prospects, Scott Roland, number 120. It wasn't just Fleer among the major card manufacturers who decided to branch out into the minor league market in the mid-1990s, and Upper Deck issued their SP brand to make the leap. SP Top Prospects was a 165-card issue that took the challenge head-on, with Roland joining the likes of Vladimir Guerrero, Todd Helton, Bartolo Colon, Nomar Garcia Parra, and other future luminaries among the roster of their then hopeful prospects. Like most of the cards on this list, you can usually grab the Roland SP on the cheap. 1995 SP Top Prospects Destination, The Show, Scott Rolen, number DS13. Destination The Show cards were inserted into packs of the 1995 SP Top Prospects, featuring 20 guys who were on the verge of making their major league debut, even though Roland shows up in his AA reading uniform. This is another early card for a player who would be making a serious noise in Philadelphia within a couple of years. It's also a bit tougher to find than the base card, and it carries a small premium as a result. 1995 Upper Deck Minors, Scott Roland, number 78. Upper Deck went even deeper into the bushes in 1995, issuing minor league cards under their base brand name. Minors was a 225-card set issued in packs of 12 and featuring half a dozen insert sets. This Roland card shows him in what looks to be a big league uniform, so you have to figure the shot was taken during spring training or when he was still with Spartanburg. It's yet another Roland rookie-ish issue that you can generally find for a couple of bucks in nice, ungraded condition. 1995 Upper Deck Minors Future Stock, Scott Roland, number 78. Future Stock was a fully parallel insert to the minor league base set, issued one per pack. Although obviously tougher to come by than the base set, the Future Stock Roland is still plentiful enough to keep it affordable most of the time. 1995 Upper Deck Minor League Organizational Profiles, Scott Roland, number OP21. Organizational Profiles was another bonus from the 1995 Upper Deck Minor set, inserted at the rate of 1 in 10 hobby packs. This Roland has a definite airbrush or non-licensed feel thanks to the missing team logo on the helmet, but it's the real deal. Still, you can usually find it for $5 or less on eBay. 1995 Best Top 100 Clearwater Phillies, Scott Roland, number 89. Roland spent the first part of 1995 with the high A Clearwater Phillies before he got the call-up to AA reading. That's where Best found him when they slotted him in their top 100 set. The Roland card is fairly popular in top slab condition, but you can usually find a full raw set for $20 or less. 1995 Best Top 100 Best of the Best, Scott Roland, number 105. Roland wasn't just one of the 100 best prospects in the game in 1995. He was one of the best, according to, well, Best themselves. This insert/subset bubbled up 10 players to best of the best status and included another dude who went on to fashion a borderline Hall of Fame career. That would be Andrew Jones. Even with a couple of near legends, the full 10-card run plus a checklist in the same style usually can be had for $10 or less. 1995 Bowman Foil, Scott Roland, number 271. By 1995, everyone knew that Bowman was the place to go for rookies. That's evidenced by the fact that the first 219 cards were dedicated to just rookies and prospects, plus a checklist. Roland fell into the next run, 54 cards of silver foil magic, featuring just the top prospects from each team. The veteran dudes finally got their due in the final 165 cards of the set. There's definitely a Children of the Corn vibe in the whole distribution of players in this set. But this is Roland's first Bowman, and that's noteworthy in its own right. It's also the first card on this list that regularly sells for more than $1 or $2, even in raw condition. 1995 Bowman Gold Foil, Scott Roland, number 271. Gold was Bowman's first pack-inserted parallel, available for each of the 54 foil-clad youngsters, slotted at 1 in 6 hobby packs and 1 in 4 jumbos. This Roland is less plentiful than the base foil RC, but still not all that tough to find. 1995 Bowman's Best Blue, Scott Roland, number 87. Bowman's Best was one of the landmark subsets of the mid-1990s, with rookies and prospects like Roland, Andrew Jones, and especially Vladimir Guerrero headlining the 90-card Blue Rookies part of the issue. Veterans got their own space in the 90-card red subset, and Mirror Image paired a young and an old on each of the 15 cards. Roland, of course, is in blue here on one of his most popular rookie cards. 1995 Bowman's Best, Blue Refractor, Scott Rolen, number 87. All of the 1995 Bowman's Best cards are available in Refractor parallels, which were inserted in about 1 in every 4 packs overall. That leaves this as maybe the scarcest of all Roland rookies, and certainly a budget cruncher if you're set on getting one in top grade. Like our video? Then like our video and subscribe to our channel. waxpackgods.com